System of inequalities. Linear programming. What are they? An inequality compares two values, showing if one is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or not equal to. Why? Helps in mass producing items to find the optimal period. Interesting fact, there are three varieties of peafowl: the Indian, the green, and the Congo. What is the female name of the peafowl? Now, let's take a look at the guidelines on how to solve these type of problems. The first one is, sketch the region determined by the system of constraints. The second one is, find the vertices. The third one is, calculate the value of the objective function at each vertex. And the fourth one is, select the maximum or minimum values of C. Now, let's take a look at the example we're going to discuss in today's video. Now, let's read the steps. Step 1, find the vertices. Step 2, substitute the vertices. Step 3, follow order of operations. Now, let's read the question. Find the maximum and minimum values of the objective function given by c is equal to 2x plus 3y subject to the following constraints, where we have x minus 2y is less than or equal to negative 12, 2x plus y is less than or equal to 16, x is greater than or equal to 0, and y is greater than or equal to 0. Now, let's graph the inequalities. We're going to graph the inequalities a little fast, so if you need it in more detail, there are videos below. Now, let's graph each inequality. These lines go on forever, but we can erase the lines after each intersection point or vertex. The next step is to shade where they all overlap, and in this case, it is inside the quadrilateral that is formed with the lines. Now, these steps can be done simultaneously. Now, the next step is to find the intersection points, or the vertices, because those are the values that will give us the highest possible value or the lowest possible value. The first one is 0, 0. Then we have 0, 6. Then we have 4, 8. And finally we have 8, 0. Next, we have to substitute each vertex into the given equation. C is equal to 2x plus 3y. Let's start with 0, 0. So now we have 2 times 0 plus 3 times 0, which is 0 plus 0, and the result of that is 0. Next, let's substitute 0, 6. So now we have 2 times 0 plus 3 times 6, which is 0 plus 18, and the result of that is 18. Next, let's substitute 4, 8. So now we have 2 times 4 plus 3 times 8, which is 8 plus 24, and the result of that is 32. Finally, let's substitute 8, 0. So now we have 2 times 8 plus 3 times 0, which is 16 plus 0, and the result of that is 16. So, what do we think are the minimum and maximum values? That is correct. The minimum value of C is 0 at the point 0, 0, and the maximum value of C is 32 at the point 4, 8. That is example 1. Before we sign off, let's look at something cool by taking a closer look at our given equation. 2x plus 3y is equal to c. Let's solve for y. So let's subtract 2x on both sides and divide each term by 3. So now we have y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus c over 3. Now, we're going to use this new equation in each vertex to create a new line and graph it. The first one will be with 0, 0. The second one will be with 8, 0. The third one will be with 0, 6. And the fourth one will be with 4, 8. What do we think this tells us? That is correct. The higher the y-intercept, the higher the value. The lower the y-intercept, the lower the value. Now, that is cool. Now, it is your turn. So go ahead and pause the video here so you can take your time to answer this question, and I'll show you the result in 3, 2, and 1. Did you get it correct? Fantastic. If not, there's always tomorrow.